ain't lying, I was close to dying. Knew I wanted to live, but I wasn't trying. I was the fight, not knowing that this ain't how we live. It's just how they design. Cause you're in the streets, you get more indebted. There ain't no telling for me on papers and no restrictions. My father said I hard had to make a soft ass. I wanted to feel when I walk past. In the flesh where a black man's blood is cheap. I thank the Lord for the day I was on Main Street. Listen in the cup, back and forth to court, found in DC school. I swear it felt like I crawled on that fucking porch. The Lord said, my sheep, man, hear my voice. That's why UPK, I told them I ain't ever. They said God ain't really did it, was gonna come to pass. The Lord called me out the world, and I thought, right, all it was to be a gangster. I wasn't dangerous. Decisions that I made from the Lord's anger. Ain't to him all the time, but I was just a stranger. All it was to be a gangster. Little did I know, I wasn't dangerous. Decisions that I made from the Lord's anger. Ain't to him all the time, but I was just a stranger. All I wanted was to be a gangster. It should be until they hit the fan. All I wanted was to be a gangster, but I was running as a righteous man. And now pull out this brand, pull up the tools until they all understand. I can get that crown.
Still here. I don't know.
Was to impress niggas with my brain. I ain't trying to prove shit. They're not lying for my hobby. Cause most these niggas trying to pass up. One time for those high.
Chill. This fight is clean, bro. I like using like this game. You know what I'm saying? When the camp come around, I feel like I get a little practice in, you know what I'm saying? That sounds great. We're gonna get started. We live on Facebook and YouTube.
Yeah.
Most high Chris. There it is. That's what it is, man. All right, so we're gonna get started. Most high Christ. All right, clap it up. What happened? Oh, Salaki. Isupk, Durham, North Carolina, man. What's that? Tuesday, right? Yeah. Tuesday night, Brotherhood class. Police officer 50,1 holding it down. And obviously, y'all, my Steve cannot be here tonight, so I'll be holding it down for the brother. And we're gonna get into it. Let me just remind everybody real quick, if it's your first time, we are Isupk out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, on the Commander Julia Hanna. So I get, brother, teach the truth according to the Bible. Okay. Hispanics and individuals are the true Jews according to the Bible. You understand? That our oppressor is the devil the Bible speaks of.
That's right.
You understand? I want to make that loud and clear. Also, we are not affiliated with any other Hebrew Israel organization. If it's not of the Isupk under Commander Julia Hanna, it is not of the truth. You understand? I want to make that loud and clear. We're going to get into that a little bit today. So we're going to take that joint out. But before I begin, actually get into the class, real quick, Salakia, online. Yahweh Shanel Shabbat to the brothers and Yahweh Shalom Bashanel Shabbat to the sisters. But before I actually get into today's topic, we know today is the Brotherhood class, so of course we're going to get into that. But is there any questions that anybody would like to submit before we actually get into the topic, even if it's a question. If I have the answer, then I'll provide that for you. If not, then I will write it down and get it to, you know what I'm saying? I'll come back as soon as I have the answer for you. All right, so Sis, you got a question?
Yes, I do.
Come, what is your question?
So, you know how, like, we have, like, family that follows Christianity,
Mm-hmm.
and you sit there and, like, give them every scripture there is to, like, much prove what they're talking about is wrong,
Mm-hmm.
and, like, you keep doing it. At what point do you be like, they're not hearing it?
Mm-hmm.
Like, at what point do you just wash your hands?
Immediately. You can give it to them. If they read it and don't want it, somebody give me cast not your pearl before swine. If they don't want it, you don't have to give it. That's it. You did your job. You went to them. You gave them the scriptures. They choose to believe what they want to believe. That's the end of that. There's nothing else to discuss. There's no, because I can't give you like well, you got to do it for 2 weeks. You know what I'm saying? If you're looking at the scripture to say, okay, well, give it 2 weeks. If after 2 weeks they don't, no, it don't work like that. You know what I'm saying? It's they come to you and say this. You say that's not true according to the Bible. They say prove it. You prove it. They say, well, that's your interpretation. Go on about your business. What you got? You got it, brother? Come on. Oh, you guys do? Oh, yeah. Oh, okay. You care about your shot, please.
Oh, you need. The book of Matthew, chapter 7, verse 6. Give not that which is holy unto the dogs.
Give not that which is holy unto the dogs, man. You should understand this very well. Salakia, my real bitch, she don't like when I be giving the dog human food all the time. I know you're not really supposed to do that, but I mean, my dog, I just be feeling sorry for him. So I be eating like a turkey sandwich, and then he'll be looking at me. I'm like, I'll take a piece of turkey, like, yeah, just take it. You know what I mean? She don't like that. I'm giving him our food, right? But this is what the Bible says, right? Read from the top.
Give not that which is holy.
Give not that which is holy, which is separate. This is true. This is the Holy Bible. You understand? This is a set apart. You know what I'm saying? This is the book of the set apart people, God's holy people, God's chosen people, right? So don't give that which is holy, which is set apart, right? You know?
Unto the dogs.
Don't give it unto the dogs. Don't give it unto them that aren't worthy of it. You know?
Neither cast ye your pearls before swine.
Don't cast your pearls before swine. Pearl is a valuable, you know what I'm saying? It's not a gem, but it's a valuable thing, right? And you don't cast your pearls before a pig, a swine that wallows around in the mud. That's what a pig does.
Right.
It's in filth. He defecates where he, you know what I'm saying, where he eats. That's what a pig does. He wouldn't know what to do with a pearl if you gave it to him. You know what I'm saying? You give a pig a diamond ring, he's going to try to eat it or something. So don't cast your pearls before swine. After they demonstrate to you that that's what they are, after that, no sweat. You're going about your business. And that's the end of that. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, but what if, like, they bring up something else in, like, a different conversation? Just leave it all?
What do you mean they bring up something else?
Like, they bring up a conversation and they're telling, like, another sibling something that's not true according to the Bible. Am I just supposed to not say anything?
You mean, so they're now, okay, so now it's not between you and this person. They're saying something to someone else.
Yeah, but I can hear it.
But you can hear it.
Yeah.
Well, the Bible also says to rightly contend for the truth. You know what I'm saying? So if somebody's saying an untruth about the Bible, then you can defend it and say that's not true. But that's not the same thing as you and this person one-on-one having a conversation about it. You know what I'm saying? In that case, like I said, don't cast your pearl before swine. But if someone's saying an untruth about the Bible, you can say, oh, well, according to such, that's not true, right? But even then, you have to understand, at a certain point, that's what the Bible says what? You know what I'm saying? You got to be as wise as a serpent, harmless as a dove. There's going to come a point where you got to just let it go.
Right.
And just let them believe whatever they want to believe. You know what I mean? So if they saying something to somebody else, you can say, well, from my understanding, that's not true, right? And go from there. If they don't want to believe it, they don't accept it, go on about your business. Okay? That makes sense? Any other questions? Any other questions online as well? If you're on the Facebook, on the YouTube, if you have a question, you can go ahead and type that in. If I see it, I will get to it. You know what I'm saying? If not, no worries. So let's get to today's topic. So we're talking about brotherhood today, correct? Right. Okay. So real fast. Mario, I gave you the joint, right? Most High Christ. All right. So, could you do me a quick favor, Baba Kushab? Could you pass me? I think I got a booklet right here and stuff. Oh well, before I have the water, brother. Let's see. I also wanted that brown paper bag as well. The water, brother. Yeah. Unfortunately for y'all, brothers, I'm low, so y'all will not be able to. You know what I'm saying? Unfortunately, so lock it. No sweat. But we're going to get into this topic, man, because we just did a lecture, man. First of all, can we get a round of applause for our brother Officer Natazal, man? Officer Fabrice Natazal, man, again. The water, me and Officer Natazal did the lecture, but the water to him for allowing me to be involved in it. You know what I'm saying? He had the lecture done. It was a while before I even got on. I helped him out with some research, but he actually allowed me to come up and speak and things like that. That was, you know what I'm saying, indebted to that brother for that, the water. But we brought out, we did a powerful lecture where we talked about revolution versus Christianity. And within that, there's a lot of overlap, there's a lot of things going on. But one theme that stays consistent, right? And we even talked about that in class yesterday, in history class, is this. Black people, Salakia, Blacks, Hispanics, Native Indians, the 12 tribes of Israel, have had the same problem since the beginning of time. Can somebody tell me what the problem is with Black people? Now, you really got to read my mind on this one. But I'll just tell you that it relates to love. It relates to love. What is the problem with the 12 tribes of Israel that continues to hold us back from being the set-apart people that we were meant to be? Anybody know? Please, pardon.
So like we don't have brotherly love.
That is true, but take that because you're absolutely correct, right? But tell me, see, I might be giving it to you in a difficult manner. Okay, so what is love according to the Bible? Yeah.
So like keeping the law, statutes, and commandments.
Could you prove it?
Come about.
Please do so. I want to, only reason because the people that they don't know that, right? I want them to hear it from the Bible because that is our topic, right? That's what we're going to talk about. But the water, you're absolutely correct. We do lack brotherly love.
So I got one.
Please.
The book of 1 John, chapter 5, verse 3. Mm-hmm. For this is the love of God.
For this is the love of God, right? For this. So whatever you heard before, because a lot of people have heard a lot of things, right? Tell me I'm lying. There are a lot of things about what love is, and love is this, love is that. You got to do this if you love, right? But the Bible makes it very clear for you. Read it again from the top.
The book of 1 John, chapter 5, verse 3. For this
do what?
That we keep his commandments.
This is the love of God, that we keep his commandments. Right. So keeping God's commandments is how we love. It's that simple. In order for Blacks, Hispanics, and Indians to love each other, to love God, we have to keep the commandments. Right. Any more of that?
Come with God. And his commandments are not grievous.
And his commandments are not grievous. It's not hard to follow his commandments. It's not hard to do it, right? But the reason why I bring that out is why? The answer I was looking for before was this. We give our love to the other nations. We've always done that. And you're right. We don't have brotherly love with each other because we're too busy doing what? Loving the other nations. We're too busy loving America. We're too busy worrying about what's going on with other countries. We want to fight in their wars for their military. You know what I'm saying? We want to constantly attach ourselves to them. We want to look at people like MLK as heroes and leaders. But what was he a hero or a leader of? Nothing but bringing us, you know what I'm saying, attaching us back to the oppressor, back to our slave master, just like a house Negro would do, right? It's like when you take the love and you displace it and put it over here. The point that we're going to get into today, but you cannot love everybody. Somebody who tells you, because people will say that, right? I know y'all brothers have heard this, right? I love everybody. And you probably heard it not just from, our people, you've heard it from the oppressor, right? They go out there, we go to camp, you gonna hear it at least once. Someone's gonna come and be like, yeah, listen, you guys are preaching hate. I love everybody, right? No, you don't. Because you can't love everybody. It's not possible to love everybody. It is impossible. Because if you love black people, you'd be in the Isupk and Commander Juliana. The only place where you can learn about loving black people. I didn't know about loving black people until I got in here. You understand? Everything that I thought loving black people was before, I came in here and found out that's not what it is.
That's right.
I thought maybe if I give a homeless man $1, that means I love black people. That's what I thought. But what does 1 Corinthians 13:1 prove? It proves that charity has nothing to do with giving money.
That's right.
It has nothing to do with that. Real charity is what the Isupk under Commander Juliana has been doing since 1969.
Right.
It's sacrificing your life, like your actual life. You know what I mean? Like getting in all black and getting out there on the highways and byways and risking your life for people who probably will spit on you after you tell them they're God's chosen people.
Right.
That's love. You understand? But the topic today is, man, we have to make a choice. We have to make a choice. We cannot love our people and love the oppressor. They're two completely opposing ideologies. If you love the oppressor, you hate black people. You hate Hispanics. You hate Native Indians. Absolutely. And if you love the oppressor, read my mind, who do you hate? Yeah, huh?
It's like you hate your own people.
You hate your own people. MLK, OG Mike is a prime example of that. He talked a good game like he loved everybody, but if you just study just a little bit, if you just do your Googles, throw it in your Google machine, you'll see that this man really loved the oppressor. He loved the oppressor, the men and the women, Salaya. He loved them both, and he hated black people.
That's right.
You understand? So we're gonna get into some scriptures on that today. You know what I mean? So we're gonna do a little bit of milk and throw some other stuff in there, but we're just gonna break it down and talk about the importance of loving our brothers, man. So give me 1 John 4:20. We're gonna start, like I said, we're going with that milk too. Because the people need to hear this, man. This is scripture y'all have never heard before. I know Deacon Johnson and Pastor Troy Salakia. Pastor nice Salakia. Pastor Jones or whoever the hell, give me some John Gray and Eddie Long. Well, he up out of there. Creflo. I didn't. Death Joe Dollars. Salakia the water, brother. Death Joe Dollars. AKA, this one funny. I did not know that Creflo is like some kind of like anachronism, like they brought his name. He created that name out of like create the flow of dollars. I thought that was a joke. I think that is actually the origin of his name. I heard brother say that they read like, I think my brother Snodder told me like I think his name actually comes from his real name is like George So it's like a regular name. So like, somebody look it up. Somebody throw it in Google machine. Find out what Creflo Dollar's actual name is. It's a regular name, right? He's a regular name, but then he got a stage name. Create the flow of dollars. Creflo. Creflo. Because it only makes sense because the hell names their son Creflo. Who? And then Dollar. Right? So it only makes sense, right? But let me know what you got, brother. These are the scriptures that these people neglect. What?
It says, no, it says, born, it says Michael Smith.
He was born with the most generic black name ever. Michael Smith. It don't get no regular than that.
Creflo Augustus Dollar Jr.
How is, wait, if he was born Michael Smith, how is he a junior after his name?
That's what they got in parentheses after, they got Creflo Dollar Jr., they got parentheses, born Michael Smith.
So did his parents name him Creflo Dollar? Good night. Salakia, who the hell knows? Either way, it's a ridiculous name. He's a fool. And we're going to cut him up today. No sweat. Good part. You got something?
Yo, I got it.
Okay, please.
The book of 1 John, chapter 4, verse 20. If a man say, I love God.
If a man says what?
I love God.
Martin Luther King said what?
I love God.
Creflo Dollar says what?
I love
The
God.
Christian church says what?
I love God.
You know?
And hated his brother.
But he hates his brother. So he says, I love God, but he hates his brother. Read.
He is a liar.
He's a what?
He is a liar.
He's a liar.
Right.
So tell me what's going on, if I may. I've heard a lot of Christians say that they love God. I've heard a lot of them say they got a personal relationship with God. I've heard it. I know y'all heard it too. But it says that if you say you love God and you hate your brother, what is hating your brother? Give me some examples of hating your brother in the Christian church. Yeah. That's not love. That's hate. Give me some more. How about
It's like taking the tithes money and buying the $65 million plane.
taking the tithe money and buying the $65 million plane? And then when somebody turn around and say they late on the rent, they say, don't worry, God is going to bless you. Ask God to help you out. You understand? That's hate right there. How about this one? How about sleeping with your brother's wife? Is that love? Y'all ever seen Friday? Lord, have mercy. The Lord is my shepherd. He knows what I want. And he went over there to Miss Parker's house. Was that love? No. And that's the man who claimed he loved God. But he showed hate to his brother. And when the real man ran out, he called him a devil. Right? Because it's like, damn, you claim you love God. Read from the top.
The book of 1 John, chapter 4, verse 20. If a man says, I love God, and hateth his brother, he is a liar.
If a man say he loves God and hates his brother, he's a liar. You cannot do both. You can't, because guess what? Because blacks, Hispanics, Native Indians are God's chosen people, right? So if you love God, then you have to love what he loves. And God only loves who?
Yeah. Like the so-called black Hispanics and Native Indians.
That's it. He loves blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. He loves the 12 tribes of Israel. So if you love him, but he loves these people, when you hate those people, then it's just incompatible. It does not compute. You understand? So loving God requires you to love blacks, Hispanics, Native Indians. Loving blacks, Hispanics, Native Indians requires.
Come, God.
Please.
For he that loveth not his brother, whom he had seen, how can he love God, whom he had not seen?
So you don't even love the brother that's right next to you. You walk outside of your house or your building or your projects or whatever, we blacks, Hispanics, we all over. wherever you walk and you see a black man, Hispanic man, Native Indian man, and you hate him. You look down on him. You look down on the brother that's on drugs. You look down on the sister that's strung out. You look down on them, but then you'll turn around and go to church on Sunday and talk about
brother whom he had seen.
It's like you.
How can he love God whom he hath not?
Yeah, you don't love your brother. You see him every day. This is a brother that breathes the same air as you and go through the same struggle.
Right.
Poor like you know what I'm saying? Look like you. Y'all going through the same thing and you hate him. You hate him because why? Because he from, you know what I'm saying? You from, 110 and he from 108. You from South Side, he from the North Side. You from the East Side, he from the West Side. You know what I'm saying? You from this project, he from that project. And you hate him. But y'all went to school together. Y'all go through the same struggle. Y'all go through all the same things. Y'all are literally living in the same hell together. But you love God, but you hate that brother. But you've never seen God. How you gonna convince the Most High that you love him and you've never seen him? But there's a brother right there. There's a brother on drugs standing right there. There's a sister right there who every time you pass her, you pass judgment and you look at her like, oh, she ain't worth nothing. She ain't this, she ain't that, and she ain't, you know what I mean? Because she on them drugs or she doing this and she's selling her body or whatever. Not saying that any of those things are right because we know there's sins according to the Bible, right? But in the ISUPK, we stand on brotherhood. Every single Saturday, we go out there and do what? We teach people who aren't in the truth. We don't just come and just, you know what I mean, teach the people who are already in ISUPK. Right. Because guess what? I was the crackhead. That's right. My brother was the drug addict. Right. My sister was the prostitute. Right. And all of those things. And they had to hear us and say, wait a minute, I can repent? So I'm one of God's chosen people? He doesn't want me to live like this? There's something better for me? And now every single brother and sister in this school who before was like that, now they're the priests and prophets that you see before you. Now they're the princesses of the Most High you see before you. It takes brotherhood to do that. Right? But your Christian pastor, he'll go past one of them and just say, well, you know, they're a lost cause. They wouldn't even waste their time. Read that one more time, brother.
The book of 1 John, chapter 4, verse 20. Mm-hmm. If a man say, I love God, right, and hateth his brother, he is a liar. Right. For he that loveth not his brother, whom he had seen, how can he love God, whom he hath not seen?
Right, jump to Matthew 25 and 40. And I'm going to get another one so I can bear with me. You got that, brother?
Got
Yeah, read it.
The book of Matthew, chapter 25, verse 40. And the king shall answer and say unto them.
Who's just talking, by the way? Was that brother? No, sir. Let me see you raise your hand first. But you good. You good. But yeah, you're definitely correct. It's written in red, right? So this is Yahushua talking. Read it again.
The book of Matthew, chapter 25, verse 40. And the king shall answer and say unto them, verily, I say unto you.
Truthfully, I say unto you, read.
Inasmuch as ye have done it unto one of the least of these my brethren, ye have done it unto me.
What's Yahushua saying? What is Yahushua trying to get at with this statement? It's a very powerful statement considering, you know what I'm saying, his place, his importance. Just for a second, imagine if LeBron James said this. Imagine if somebody of high stature was to actually say this and mean it. You understand? Then that might make it a little bit clearer. But what is Yahushua saying? Anybody? Please.
Whatever you do to the least of your brother or sister who we may look upon as low, whatever we've done to them, we've done to him. So,
Most High Christ, I'll take it. Give that brother a hand. Why? Because no, the reason why it's important is because that's what we just talked about. Yahushua, right? We talk about him today and honor him today and venerate him today, right? Because he's the greatest brother in the history of our nation. Brother, it wasn't how well he spoke, it wasn't how well he broke scriptures down, and he was the best at breaking them down. But what made him the greatest brother was that he was willing to die for that crackhead right there. That he was willing to, just one of his brothers who was out there dying in the streets. Yahushua was willing to die for one teenage boy who gets killed by the police. For one brother who gets choked out for selling Lucy cigarettes on a street in Staten Island. Who everyone else wants to paint, or some brother, you know what I'm saying, who they want to paint as a criminal after they murder him in the streets. Or some sister who gets pulled over in a routine traffic stop and ends up dead in a cell. Yahushua cared about them. He cared about all the brothers who are locked in the federal penitentiary for crimes they did not commit. All the black men, Hispanic men who are filling up the prisons. He cared about them so much that he said, read it again.
The book of Matthew, chapter 25, verse 40.
See if your Christian pastor would ever even think to say these words. Read it.
And the king shall answer and say unto them.
And the king shall answer. Because Yahushua is our what? He's our king.
right.
So it's not just the guy shall answer. It's not just a brother. No, the king shall answer. Read it.
Verily I say unto you, inasmuch as ye have done it unto one of the least of these
unto one of the least of my brethren. He didn't say a multitude, a bunch. He said the king shall say, if you go to one of my brothers, the least of my brothers, read it.
Ye have done it unto me.
Just like you did it to the king.
Right.
That's a leader. That's who blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians need to follow.
Right.
Not theft your dollars. Not TV snakes. TV snakes, it's almost like, because I'm looking at it like, man, in the current, you know what I mean, like, who gets more out of this scenario? All of the congregation that TD Jakes has, or Creflo Dollar, who benefits more from it? TD Jakes or his congregation? Creflo Dollar or his congregation? You can do this all day long. When Eddie Long was still, you know what I'm saying, alive, him or his congregation. It seems like TD Jakes is the one getting more from them than vice versa. Right. It seems like Creflo Dollar, we all know Creflo Dollar, right? Everybody knows who Creflo Dollar is. I don't know none of the people in this congregation. Right. I don't know none of them. But I know some of Yahushua's disciples. I know who Lazarus is. I know so there's brothers in the Bible who are around Yahushua who I would not know otherwise if he wasn't the brother that he was. I know that brother who was next to Yahushua, who he said, this baby will be with me in the kingdom. That man was a criminal. Right. But Yahushua was right there with him, like, no, that you my brother. Like, that's the difference. Yahushua, they tried to make it seem like he loved everybody. No, he did not. No, he didn't. Yahushua didn't love the Romans. Why the hell would the Romans? He was what? Somebody tell me what the crime was that he was ultimately falsely, accused of. What was his actual crime? Like on the books, what was the crime that he was being said to have committed worthy of death? If you know, don't answer it. Not quite yet. Raise your hand and I'll get you. But I want to see if y'all know the answer to this. what was the crime that was on the books that this man committed this and therefore needs to die? And let me just give you an answer. It wasn't a crime against the Jews. Because some people, oh, the Jews killed. No, they didn't. You understand? No, they didn't. They were given an option, and they did basically give him over to the Romans. But he was killed for breaking a Roman law. Anybody? I'll give you a minute. Oh, I got some people in the chat. So lucky if I didn't get to your comments code yet. If you know, if you're in the chat as well, if you're online, you can also if you know the answer to that question. My question is, what was the crime that Yahushua was accused of committing that ultimately he was found guilty of and therefore faced capital punishment as a result of? Maya, Slaki, could you, I can't really reach these cuts. Shut the Salaki, my brother. So what? Y'all saw that leave?
I ain't get called that.
No, but he didn't leave some strong man.
No, he took it.
Really? What's it? It's too hard, but he didn't put it in the office?
Oh, he might have.
Yeah, because I feel like that's not like the brother. Oh, damn.
He might have forgot.
Wrong I am. Anybody got it? Salakian says no. That's not the answer. That would not be a crime to the Romans, right? Because the sister said claiming to be the son of God. That wouldn't be a crime to the Romans because the Romans had a completely different religion.
Right.
They wouldn't have given a damn about him claiming to be the son of, you know what I'm saying, the Hebrew God. What? The Hebrew God, because they're not Hebrews. What? So they wouldn't have cared about that. For time's sake, I'll go ahead and give it to y'all. The crime that Yahushua was accused of committing and that he was ultimately tried and convicted for and killed for was treason. It was treason. Because what? Because he was saying that another kingdom was coming and that he was going to rule that kingdom. And the Romans felt, wait a minute, is he saying he's going to overthrow us? That means he's speaking against our nation, our kingdom. He's committing treason by doing that. And that's what he was killed for. Okay? So like he says, no, that's not what it was. It was treason. That's why the Romans went ahead and did what they did. You understand? Yahushua was an innocent man. He wasn't threatening the Roman kingdom. How do we know? How do we know that what they accused him of was not true? Anybody got a precept? Let me know when you got it, brother. You still holding something, bro?
I still have the
Matthew, right? Okay. Just hold it.
I don't got a precept, but I know to debunk them even saying that because even in our law we have to abide by the laws of the land.
Right. That's one way to do it. That's definitely true. I did want to precept. I'll give it to you. So I'll give. Give me Capone, if you can drop me Matthew 25 and 40. Well, no, Matthew, if you can just hold it. Hold it. Brother, do you mind reading for me? Please, give me John chapter 18 and verse 36. What's the name, brother? James. What? Most High in Christ.
I'm sorry, what was that name?
John chapter 18 and verse 36. This is a precept. This is what one you can pull to show that Yahushua wasn't, he was falsely, tried for that crime. Because he said out of his mouth this that we're about to read. Yeah.
All right, John chapter 18, verse 36. Yahushua answered, my kingdom is not of this world.
Yahushua said what?
My kingdom is not of this world.
Yahushua said, my kingdom is not of this world. So he couldn't be talking about when he said, oh, my kingdom is coming, the kingdom that comes, that kingdom is not of this world.
Right.
So it can't be a threat to the Romans because it's a completely different, age or society.
Right.
Because he details it further.
My kingdom is not of this world. If my kingdom were of this world,
If my kingdom were of this world,
then would my servants fight?
What the hell are you Romans worried about? If my kingdom was of this world, we'd be going to war.
Exactly.
I got killers on my side.
Right.
I got Peter that can slice your ear off in one fell swoop.
Right.
But guess what? I haven't sent them to war. I haven't told them to attack you because my kingdom is not of this world. That's why my soldiers are not fighting.
That I should not be delivered to the Jews.
That the Jews can't hand me over.
But now is my kingdom not from here.
Right. My kingdom is not now. The kingdom that I'm going to rule over is not right now, and it is not in this world.
Right.
Right. So they sent him. They tried him for treason. Right. And ultimately, he wasn't even guilty of that. This man was. That's why Pontius Pilate called him what? What did Pontius Pilate say about Yahushua?
When he said, wash his hands.
Right. He said, I wash my hands. I see no fault in this man. He hasn't done anything. You understand? So now, let's get back. Kapara, read what you got one more time.
Book of Matthew, chapter 25, verse 40.
Now, this is the same Yahushua that we just talked about, taking his death was not pretty. You understand? It was not pretty. This man was tortured to death. Read it.
The book of Matthew, chapter 25, verse 40. The king shall answer and say unto them, Verily I say unto you, inasmuch as ye have done it unto one of the least of these brethren, ye have done it unto me.
I'm the king, man. I'm Yahushua. I'm the son of the Most High, man. And if you do it to that sister who's suffering, man, that young brother who's caught up in gang culture, if you do it to them, you're doing it to me. That same spirit is what made Yahushua say to the Most High. What he said? He said, Salakia, he said, when he was praying to the Most High, he said, if I'm paraphrasing, you know what I mean? But if this cup could pass from me, like he was a man, a person. He was not like some mythical girl. He was a man, like, yo, if there was a way that I didn't have to do this, I would prefer that. But he also understood that the will of the Most High, he knew, he said, I do nothing of my own accord. I and my Father are one. Meaning what? Whatever he say, that's what I do. That's why he said, I wasn't sent but unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel. He was sent for a purpose, for a job. He was going to fulfill it. You understand? But this man was willing to die for the least of his brethren. For the one that no one cares about. The rest of us, we walk, man, we go through our days. You don't even got to be a Christian pastor. You have a decent job. I mean, you just go on your day, man, just go through the motions. And you might see a brother that's in the streets. It don't even got to be that. Sometimes it be a coworker. It don't even got to be somebody that's, you know what I'm saying, out here on drugs. So it can be somebody who's that annoying coworker. You know, a sister can't stand that annoying coworker. Everything is that annoying coworker's fault. Her whole week is ruined because of her. You know what I mean? As a brother, me and my y'all somebody, you see another brother and your first instinct is to size him up. Like, yo, what's going on? Do I gotta like, is he good? Is he cool? I don't know. Is it gonna be an issue? And that's your first instinct, but you don't look at Tom like that or Bill at the job. You don't look at them like that. You don't see that old, you know what I'm saying, Edomite and think to yourself, this fool might try to steal my pension. You don't think that at all. You don't think that for 1 second, this fool might damn try to get me fired. You never think that, but with your own brother, your first instinct is negative. Your own sister, your first instinct is negative. Yahushua gave us the example to look at each other in that way. Like, no, that brother out there that I, for whatever nonsensical thing with, that's my brother, man. We're one in the same, we're the same person. That's what Yahushua is saying. If you do it to the least of my brother, you do it to me because we're the same. I'm the king, yes, but that's my brother, so we're just one. You know what I mean? Matter of fact, let's get a scripture on that. Give me Salakia. Give me Zechariah chapter 8, verse 17. If you got it, point out, please. Right? Because sometimes it's hard, man, for us to just go and not. Doesn't it seem so easy to love the oppressor? That's the funny thing about it. It almost seems easier to the point where people will argue it. So like it, I've been there. You know what I'm saying? I was the college kid. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't doing much, but you know, I used to like to go out to the Lower East Side, and I would be, you know what I'm saying, drinking and doing my thing. But I was more on that side because I didn't grow up in the hood. I didn't grow up amongst my people, so I went to school, but I didn't grow up around so much. So once I got to college, and I was always the smart kid, right? You've heard that before, like the one he talked like that, the one who gets made fun of, but he talks a little bit too proper. That at one point that was me, right? I had to come among these UPK killers, you know what I'm saying, to kind of get a little more edginess to me. I had to, but before I was so comfortable around them. It seems so easy. It seems so like, oh man, no, they would never harm a fly. Right. They would never. They're just upstanding citizens. Good night. That's why the Bible calls them the most subtle beasts of the field. Because in your mind, it's like, no, not Bill. Bill had what in his desk? Pills? No, not Bill. But if they just said, oh, Daquan, they found some, well, sure. I said Daquan would have, you know what I mean? That's what they do. Your own perception of your people is like that, but you don't look at your oppressor like that. But your oppressor is the most wicked, vile, murderous, rapist, disgusting, robbingest piece of filth on the face of earth. Right. The worst. Get it, dog.
It's so heavy what you're bringing out because I hear my own people when I'm at work they say that. Right. They said one of the most craziest things that I've heard was of course this was an Israelite that said this. I remember somebody they were saying like when I go to the ATM at night, I don't have to worry about a white guy robbing me or something. I was like, wow. Like but that just shows y'all mindset.
The water, brother.
Yeah.
No sweat. You don't. Yeah, please.
It didn't mess me up when I heard that.
Here's the thing. You may think you don't got to worry about a white man robbing you at the ATM, right? And maybe you're right. Maybe there's less of a chance of a white man walking up to you while you're at the ATM and robbing you. Here's the problem. You got a better chance of once your money goes into the ATM, the white man finding a way to rob you. He'll take the money directly out. You'll go to your bank and your account will be frozen. That's what he'll do. He'll take the money directly out of your account. Or he'll take the money under the guise of some kind of government thing you have no idea about. We pay taxes, don't know where the hell it's going. Don't know what the hell my money's going for, but I know I gotta pay it. There it is, right? But you worried about some black black man coming to rob you. Meanwhile, guess what? They do the same things. Nobody is bigger drug addicts. I mean, I think y'all, I hope y'all see what's going on in the news. These damn opioids are turning these fools into zombies. I've been seeing it over there. I didn't know. But we go to camp in Charlotte, brother. It's like all of these white people are like bugged out on crazy drugs. Who knew? Right. They're the worst ones out there. It'd be one crazy drug addict white woman going crazy, going ham, and another like drug addict black dude that's like, come on, let's get away from them. Let's relax yourself. That's what's happening. They are going crazy on these opioids, right? But we never associated it with them. But that's their nature. We didn't become drug addicts because that's what we are. We became drug addicts because that's what they are.
That's right.
We didn't start robbing each other and murdering each other because we just love to rob and murder each other. No, we did it because they love Al Capone. And they love Bugsy Siegel. And so they said, well, these are the people that we admire. And so we decided, well, maybe we should admire some people like that too. Like, now we'll represent and we'll look at and venerate drug dealers. And they said, how can their rap music is about selling drugs? And wait a minute, what do you think Bob Dylan was singing about? Mr. Tambourine Man, play a song for me? It's a song about selling drugs. Right. What do you think the Beatles were singing about? Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds? It's about LSD, about drugs. Right. They were high all the time. The Beatles were high all the time. And what did they get? They get a new award for the greatest group of all time. Get it, huh?
It's so heavy what you're saying, man, because I had a devil actually, I was at the slave one time. Mm-hmm. And a little bit later in the afternoon when it's like a lot slower, we had changed the radio station. And
right.
Like some R&B, clean R&B.
Right.
Yeah, so he comes in, he's like, I just never really liked this, this rap music. It's just not it's not productive, I just that what my kids say here. I don't know why they gotta rap about certain things they rap about. Mm-hmm. And I was like, maybe it's because of the condition of the people.
Right.
That they put in.
Right.
You know what I mean? And this is what I'm saying in my head.
Right.
Of course, I'm just thinking like you goddamn devil, but it's because of the condition of the goddamn people.
Mm-hmm.
It's because of
100%.
oppressed.
That's right.
What else can we rap about?
That's right. Get that brother a hand. Because the scripture says what? Oppression making a wise man mad.
That's right.
It'll change your whole perception. Oppression is what destroys communities. It destroys your neighborhood. Oppression destroys brotherhood. It makes you look at your brother as competition, your sister as competition. You know what I'm saying? That's what we're talking about today. But yeah, please.
So like you had said something earlier. The terminology you use. You said, what, opioid crisis? Mm-hmm. Well, even in that saying, mm-hmm. What are they calling the opioid crisis?
Right.
Because it's white people.
Right.
But in the 80s, what do they call it?
The crack epidemic.
They didn't call it no crisis, though.
There wasn't no damn crisis because it wasn't their kids. You know what I mean? It wasn't their kids. The water, get that brother here, bringing that up. That's fine. That's a very good point, please.
Like, and the only reason why I brought it up is because you guys know I work at now. Like, I'm working in pharmaceuticals, mm-hmm. So I know about that.
Right.
So a lot of the drugs we stopped producing, mm-hmm. Lost our contract because of the opioid situation.
Wow.
So I knew that firsthand.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
I know that firsthand.
That's crazy. They out here high as hell. Yes. Like who knew, right? Yeah. They would have had you convinced that drugs was just a black thing. Like, right. Black people just love drugs and we just love dealing drugs and we're like trash because of it. But notice again, when black people deal drugs, we're trash, and we're thugs, and we're this. But when white people deal drugs, it's Breaking Bad. It's Weeds. It's a television show that like white people walk around with t-shirts with I don't even know the dude's name from the show from Breaking Bad. Walter White, I think. They walk around with t-shirts with this man on the shirt. They love the show so much. But then I thought we was the ones who was into that. Right. You understand? So it's all a lie. The fact of the matter is, and that's why Yahushua said what he says. Salakia. Oh man. Good night, Salakia. Somebody asked Salakia, would it be wrong to say I'm in the truth because I have to be, not because it will be beneficial to me? It would be wrong because being in the truth is definitely beneficial to you. And you don't have to be in the truth. Because there were people in the Bible who were not in the truth. My life. There was John the Baptist. You know him very well. He was not in the truth.
That's right.
He wasn't in the truth. Like he knew who Yahushua was, but when it came down to it, he was still questioning Yahushua's place, and he was still doing water baptisms. He wasn't in the truth, right? If you're in the truth, right? Yes, it's like, how do I say it? You are called, right? The Bible says many are called but few are chosen, right? If you're in the truth, then you made the right decision. You made decisions. The Most High, the Lord is with you, and he brought you up in here, right? But in terms of saying you have to be, it's a funny phrase because you have, as an Israelite, you're supposed to be in it. That's a fact. But it's very obvious that a lot of people have chosen not to be. Let's not forget, we're in the Isupk. Since it started out in 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York, in 1969. Take my, advice. I used to see brothers on tapes in 1992 that are not here anymore. They're gone. So could you say they had to be the truth? I mean, they left the truth. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's hard to say that, but it is definitely beneficial to you. So now that wording isn't the best way to put it. You know what I'm saying? Since I seen a black person post today, black people want white people to be racist so bad in reference to that reporter saying niggers. The fact that that person even said black people want white people to be racist is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. This is a Salakia. Whoever said that is a coon. That, you know what I mean? That person does not understand anything about the situation that black people face. To even suggest that black people want white people to be racist. You see the hypocrisy in that? Exactly. You know, being black, Hispanic, being an Israelite in this place is hell. Do not tell me that hell is some place you're going to go to after you had already lived a horrible life in the projects. Your mama got shot, your daddy's in jail, everybody you know is getting killed every day, they suffering and everything like that, and then after you die, you're going to go to some place down in the ground. That's insane.
That's right.
Why? Because just to be black, Hispanic, just to be an Israelite in America, you gotta deal with people saying stuff like black people want white people to be racist. So we're responsible for them hating us? Good night. I mean, damn. Salakia. That person needs to really reevaluate their existence. Tell them to go to isupk.com, watch the class. If they're in the area, if they got any questions, tell them to come to the school. But that's crazy. Salakia, so when does the curses end? The curses end when Yahushua comes back. The curses end when Yahushua comes back with, what was it, 100 million angels? 200 million. 200 million angels, man, to put an end to this world. But when we say put an end to this world, not an end to the earth, what does the word world mean? Don't tell me y'all think that world means the earth. Because John 3:16, for God so loved the world. Don't tell me y'all think that means everybody. For God so loved the white man. Right? That's what y'all think? Is that what y'all think? What you got?
Establishment or
I'll take it. You want to get familiar with this phrase. Age or society. Age or society, right? You're on it, right? But you want to get familiar with that phrase. Sometimes it slips from mine too, but it's age or society, right? So you got SeaWorld, you know what I'm saying? You got the world of right? The world of animals, you know what I mean? The world of athletes, you know what I mean? You got all kinds of worlds. You know what I mean? But yeah, Yahushua and 200 million angels, they're going to put an end to this world, an end to this age or society. Okay? And that's when the curses end. You know what I'm saying? When Yahushua's mission, of course, he's going to fulfill that. He's going to come back, he's going to save blacks, Hispanics, Native Indians. Right? And then there no more curses. But we're living in captivity right now. Ain't it obvious?
Right.
Is there anything harder than being a black man or black woman? Hispanic man, Hispanic woman? Native Indian man, if you're a Native Indian man, Native Indian woman, right now, you are living in the worst conditions in America, and no one cares. No. Like you're living on a reservation that has absolutely nothing on it. I mean, Salakia, if I may, sidebar, I go to some towns. I mean, there's a little town, ironically called Indian Head, Maryland, right? A little town that I've been to from time to time. Nothing in the town. There's like one Subway, 2 liquor stores, a Dollar General. You know what I'm saying? $1. There's nothing there. Right? You go to a Native Indian reservation. When I say there's nothing there, there'll be nothing there. There's no McDonald's. There's no Dollar General. There's no Dollar Tree. And these are hundreds of people living on these reservations and having to make it. You're living in hell if you're a Native Indian in America.
That's right.
And somebody have the audacity to try to make you love your oppressor. Good night. Salakia. Let's get back on it. No sweat. What you holding for, y'all? Go ahead.
I still had that Zechariah that you
Oh, yeah, please. That's the one I want.
The book of Zechariah, chapter 8, verse 17. And let none of you imagine evil in your heart.
And let none of you imagine evil in your hearts. Read.
Against his neighbor.
Against who?
Against his neighbor.
Against his neighbor, you know?
And love no false oath.
Uh-huh.
For all these are things that I hate.
The Lord says he does what?
For all these are things that I hate.
No, it means things he doesn't like.
For all these are things that I hate.
I thought God doesn't hate.
For all these are things that I hate.
You know?
Saith the Lord.
Saith the Lord. I thought God doesn't hate anything. I thought he was all love. I thought he was we are the world, we are the children. You understand? I thought he was the Rainbow Coalition. I remember when I was young, I was going to a church in Richmond Hill out in Queens, and I had a pastor tell me that God is multicolored. I said, what color is God? He said, you might be many colors. This man is getting paid to do this. To tell people this garbage. This is how he makes a living. To tell people that Jesus and God are multicolored. Like they just 1 minute they're red, then they're green, then they're purple, and they're good night. You understand? It's crazy. But the Bible says things that the pastor never told us. We're talking about things that he hates. And one of the things that he hates, read it from the top.
The book of Zechariah, chapter 8, verse 17. And let none of you imagine evil in your hearts against his neighbor.
The Most High hates it when you imagine evil in your heart against another black man, against another black woman, Hispanic woman, Native Indian man. The Most High hates it when in your mind you're thinking, I should rob him. I should sleep with his woman. I should. So I'm not even going to say that one. But your Christian pastor is thinking about molesting your children. Don't know if you know this. But that's what he's thinking about. When you bring them kids around and say, oh, say hi to Pastor Jenkins. In his mind, he's thinking about doing vile things to your children. This is what is on his mind. And the Bible says, it says, Salakia, don't imagine evil in your hearts against your neighbor. It's evil, man. To think these things about your brother. And who is your neighbor? Because Salakia, I want somebody, let's do that real fast, right? Because somebody will tell me what? They said, don't imagine evil in your hearts against your neighbor. Well, my neighbor is, you know what I'm saying, is Jimmy. Jimmy, you know what I mean? He's an accountant. Some Edomite. Right, he's an accountant. That's your neighbor, right? Somebody prove to me that neighbor is not talking about Jimmy.
Right.
Because I'm up here, I don't know what y'all talking about, man. Y'all talking about this Hebrew Israelite Isupk nonsense. You know what I'm saying? Jimmy is my friend. Jimmy is my good buddy. Go ahead, good boy.
Slight understand Bible. Yeah, I got scripture. I don't.
Please.
Okay. The book of Leviticus, chapter 19, verse 17. Thou shalt not hate thy brother in thy heart. Thou shalt in any wise rebuke thy neighbor.
Most High in Christ, give that brother a hand. Because that is the precept. That's the beauty of the Bible, right? I was going to go to the Zondervan, right? But the Bible itself explains itself. I'm going to go to the Zondervan, but Most High in Christ, that is the precept. Read it again, please.
The book of Leviticus, chapter 19, verse 17. Thou shalt not hate thy brother.
So that's what we're going to get later anyway, but Most High in Christ, thou shalt not. It is a commandment not to hate your brother, you know?
Thou shalt not hate thy brother
right?
In thine heart.
Mm-hmm.
Thou shalt in any wise rebuke thy neighbor.
Right, so it's saying, thou shalt not hate thy brother in your heart, but in any wise you're going to rebuke your neighbor. What you got, brother?
Just go down to the next verse 18.
Keep reading, boy. Yeah, keep reading, boy.
19:18.
And not suffer sin upon him. Verse 18. Thou shalt not avenge, nor bear any grudge against the children of thy people.
So that's what we're talking about. That's the first thing we want to do. We look at our brother, man. I was watching Mike Epps earlier, man. You know what I'm saying? You look at some brother that lets you borrow $1, man, and you'll be thinking about that dollar. I mean, you let him borrow $1, you'll be thinking about that dollar forever. I mean, it's amazing how black people's memory be so wild when it comes to money. I mean, you don't forget anything else, but you give about the $2, you haven't seen him in 4 months. The first thing, you be like, what's going on? Wait a minute. Don't you owe me $2? When it comes to money, our memory like chimes in, like, you know what I'm saying, like clockwork. Right. You know what I mean? Keep reading.
Thou shalt not nor bear any grudge against the children of thy people. Mm-hmm. But thou shalt love thy neighbor.
Thou shalt what?
Thou shalt love.
Read that verse again from the top.
The book of Leviticus, chapter 19, verse 18. Thou shalt not avenge nor bear any grudge against the children of thy people, but thou shalt love thy neighbor.
Thou shalt love thy neighbor, you know?
As thyself. I am the Lord.
So in one part of the sentence, it said the children of who?
Thy people.
Of thy people. Then it refers to them as what?
Thy people.
No, the next part.
But thou shalt love thy neighbor.
Thy neighbor. So your neighbor is the children of who?
Thy people.
Of your people. Give that brother a hand again, man. That's the wild. And that brother took the wild, brother. Most High in Christ. These 2 brothers is on it, man. The wild. But even if you can, please.
If I can sidebar for a second.
Please.
In verse 18, Leviticus 19 and 18, that part right here, but thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. The Christian church should read that.
Right.
And they'll let Dillonstone Roof come into church.
Right. That's a fact. That's a fact. They'll completely eliminate the context, take out this one little part, and let everybody get shut up. What the hell is the point? Good night. You understand? In the Isupk, we do love our neighbors as ourselves. Blacks, Hispanics, and Indians. Right. But if you are an Edomite, you're not getting in here. Right. Or you got to get through that brother. You know what I'm saying? But it's not happening. Right. You're not coming in here. You're not welcome here. Right. This school is for the Israelites. That's who it's for. You know what I mean? The Bible we read yesterday where it says in Ecclesiasticus, never trust thine enemy. Right? It says don't sit him by you because he's going to take your seat. You know what I'm saying? Who can have pity on a snake charmer? That's what the Bible says, man. Good night. And even if you go to the Zondervan, right? Zondervan Compact Bible Dictionary, a very important thing to have, right? Unbeknownst to people who think they know them, niggas just on the corner just screaming and yelling, just reading that. No, we actually do research. We read from other sources when it's necessary to prove certain points, right? There's scholars in this school. Every priest and prophet, you know what I'm saying? Every brother in the Isupk is a scholar. Get that understood, man. Barakatah Shah, recommending Jimmy Yohana staying in this truth, man. And staying 10 toes when everyone else fled the ship, and he kept it together, man. Because all my brothers, man, these is some killers, man. When it comes to these scriptures, they will cut you if you don't know what you're talking about. Straight up, the Isupk and the Commander Johnny has never lost a battle.
That's right.
Never. It will not happen. It has not happened.
Right.
I mean, please come up. You know what I mean? Give it a go.
Right.
You know what I mean? We have no problem with that. But that's just the way it is. But Salaki, we just answered Salaki, so we're cursed outside the truth and cursed in the truth. The curses that we go through with Black, Hispanics, and Native Indians have absolutely nothing to do with being in the truth or not being in the truth. Right? We're still under the curses. Right? We're still under the curses, but we're trying to do what? We read the New Testament, when we say that prayer, we say, Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come, thy will be done. Well, if the kingdom is coming and the will needs to be done, then it ain't here yet.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And if it will be done, then it hasn't been done yet. So we're building up towards that. So that way Yahweh has something to come back to. We're still suffering the curses. I mean, at the end of the day, if you Black, Hispanic, Native Indian, the curses of Deuteronomy say what? You know what I mean? That you shall serve your enemies in one of all things. Last I checked, I still gotta pay taxes. Still gotta do it. I still gotta pay bills. I still cannot collect rainwater in certain counties and states. Can't do it, or I'm going to go to jail. You understand? I still have to adhere to certain things. That's called being. So that's the curses work in that way. So I hope that answers your question. So it doesn't matter whether you're in the truth or not in the truth. We're still under those curses. But if you're in the truth, again, at the very least, you start to see a glimpse of that kingdom. And we're going to be seeing a major glimpse of that kingdom April 9th, 2020, in White Plains, New York, at the Lord's 51st Annual Passover. Commander Jerry Yohana has done it again. Pay your Passover fee, and I hope to see you there. It is going to be insane. This brother, if I may, it's a stadium, an actual stadium. Like, I'm not exaggerating. The Passover is going to be held in a sports arena. And you're going to tell me that Commander Jerry Yohana is not the leader of Black Hispanics Native Indians? This brother is doing everything in his power to bring brothers and sisters into here, change their lives, teach them how to be princesses, teach these brothers how to be priests and prophets, better fathers, better husbands, better brothers. Teach these sisters to be better mothers and better sisters, man. And then on top of that, we get to go and celebrate the Passover in a sports arena. Good night. You understand? So, and then on top of it, we say this real quick as well. You want to talk about brotherhood? Commander Jerry Yohana has also invited every single Black, Hispanic, or Native Indian alive to the Passover. If you ain't in a fake Israelite group, come to the Passover. Right. He said it. He said it. If you like to wear purple, if you got fringes on your t-shirt, whatever it is that you do, no sweat. Come to the Passover. Get them saying, break bread with your brothers, man. Let's get this thing back together. You understand? Let's stop with this foolishness and all this division. Because it's not of the Most High. We just read the scripture that says that ye shall not hate your brother in your heart. So we got to start hating each other. We got to get back together, okay? So drop that. Salakia. Let's see. I was going to read in the Zondervan where it says neighbor. I got to read it. Commandments 6 through 10 deal with duties towards one's neighbor. In OT, neighbor meant one who lived nearby. I guess it's talking about Jimmy, right? Let's read on. A fellow Israelite. No sweat. So your neighbor is a brother. Jimmy is not your neighbor. Go ahead, huh? Yeah, Matumbo, please. No what brothers do I? The kid Matumbo and Manute Bo, please, brother.
And what's his name for the Sixers? Joel Embiid.
Joel Embiid and Victor Oladipo and Antetokounmpo. How it works, no sweat. You know what I mean? That's what it is. 9 times out of 10, you a black man in America, your last name is like Irish. You know what I'm saying? McRory or something like that. My older brother's last name is McClary. It's an Irish last name. He ain't Irish. You understand? Oh, I'm gonna blow your mind as well. Jones is a white people last name.
Right.
It's not black people.
That's right.
Williams, McWilliams, Grant, Ingram. Give me some more. What do we got? Mason, Shepard. They're the names of oppressors, right? Your last name is not Antetokounmpo. Your last name is not Oladipo. This sounds so crazy. I gotta put a pause on that. But they're Hamite. They're not your brothers. They're not your neighbor. Okay. So now, if I could, Baba Krishna Salakia, and Christians say hate is not in the last. Why are we truly sorry? The Israelites make us in the truth. It makes us part of the truth. Okay. So the question is, okay, you said there's a few different questions. Why are we in the truth? Does certain other Israelites make us in the truth? What makes us part of the truth? Okay, there's no such thing as part of the truth, for one. There's the truth, and that's it. Now, Isupk, under Commander General Yohana, is the home of the truth. Understand that. There is absolutely nobody who will be doing what they 9.999 times out of 10, you would not know you're an Israelite if not for the Isupk.
That's right.
This is the whole of the truth. All your alphabet people, but not those alphabet people, but like your Israelite version of alphabet people, all your acronyms, your HO this and your IU this and your S this and your AB this and ABCs, they got what they got from the Isupk. Right. You see somebody on the street corner with a mic saying that somebody is the devil and black people are Israelites, they got it from us. This is the home of the truth. All right? There's certain other Israelites make us in the truth. I don't know what you mean by that particular question. And we're in the truth, you understand? Because God, somebody give me Zephaniah 2:1. This will answer why we're in the truth. Please read that. And it goes along with the topic.
The book of Zephaniah, chapter 2, verse 1. Gather yourselves together.
Do what?
Gather yourselves together.
No, be separate.
Gather yourselves together.
HO, whatever.
Gather yourselves together.
AB, whatever.
Gather yourselves together.
I don't need to join the Israelite group. I study at home.
Gather yourselves together.
The Bible says, gather yourselves together, you know?
Yeah, gather together. O nation, not desire.
The Bible told us to gather together. We're in the truth because it's a commandment for us to do so. For us to gather together, blacks, Hispanics, Native Indians, under one banner, under one body, the body of Christ, and to keep the laws, statutes, and commandments. It's that simple. That's what we do. Okay, so that's what we're in the truth for. We're in the truth because it's a commandment for us to be together in one body. That's why we're in the truth. So that way we can attain salvation. Because we're in hell, we are in hell, and we want our God to be on our side. And so he sent his son to help us do that. And if we follow his son, we can be saved from this. So, like you. All right, sister, you seem to have a lot of questions, and there's nothing wrong with that. But what I would suggest you do is this: find tell me what, I don't know what city you're in. I'm not particularly sure. If you're in the area, then you can obviously just go to class. You know what I'm saying? If you're familiar with where the classes are, you know what I'm saying? If not, then you want to get in contact with the camp leader in your area. And also some of your questions you might want to save for the Thursday class with General Muhammad or Captain Tazariak up in New York. They answer a lot of questions. It might be a good place to start because some of your questions might even be answered vicariously by someone else. You might have a question which leads to other questions, and then a bunch of your questions will get answered, right? But I gotta continue the class, but let me just see the last thing. Where does character and spirit coming in? What is spirit? Keeping the they're not separate things. So as long as we keep the laws, we good. Where does character and spirit come in? Spirit and keeping the laws are not mutually exclusive. Keeping the laws is the spirit of the Most High. If you have the spirit of the Most High, you keep the laws. You understand? You have the spirit of Christ, you keep the laws. You know what I'm saying? As far as keeping the laws go, it said in the New Testament, a brother was asked, you know what I'm saying, if we was reading the scriptures, somebody asked him, do you understand what you're reading? What was his response? He said, well, how can I know unless somebody teach me? You can't know how to keep the laws unless you're taught how to keep the laws, which is what was the purpose of who in the Old Testament, right? It was the purpose of the Levites. The Levites weren't just there to look pretty. They were there because they were the conduit between us and understanding the scriptures. Every regular citizen, that's why there's scriptures and laws for if you break a law without knowing. Because sometimes you wouldn't know. Sometimes you might eat something and not realize, oh, that has pork in it. But then somebody can clarify it for you. So you have to learn how to keep the laws. It's an ever-learning process as well. Like you continually, you come into school, you know what I'm saying? If you're a citizen, get yourself a husband. You know what I mean? Again, you don't have to do that, but it's a wise decision because a husband can guide you better. But nonetheless, you get into school and you stay in contact, you pay your tithes, first and foremost, and you go from there. And any questions you have will get answered. You'll get the resources and everything you need. Okay? That's the beauty of being the truth. Now, Salakia. Back on topic. Give me, we just read Zechariah 8 and 17, correct?
Gone.
Please give me, do you want this one right now? No, not quite yet. Just a second. Let me see if this is on. Malachi. So, everybody swallow? Yeah. What's that increase? Malachi. Okay, what's going to do? You know what? Yeah, let's read this because I was talking earlier, man. Give me Malachi chapter 1 and verse 1 from there. Because you got to understand something about the Most High. And then if you understand this about the Most High, follow these next few scriptures carefully. If you understand this about the Most High, then you'll understand about how you're supposed to be. We're supposed to love what the Most High loves, hate what the Most High hates. Right? We're supposed to be on one accord with the Most High. So when somebody tells you that Yahushua came to save everybody, they have to prove that the Most High wanted everybody to be saved.
That's right.
Which they can't do because it's not true. You understand? But that's the thing, because Christ, and you can easily prove that because Christ said, I and my Father are one. He said that he wasn't sent of his own bidding, but to do the will of his Father. Right? I'll find that while you read. You got Malachi?
One.
Yeah, Salakia. Do my Father. Go ahead and read it.
Okay, I'm done. The book of Malachi, chapter 1, verse 1. The burden of the word of the Lord to Israel by Malachi.
Mm-hmm.
I have loved you, saith the Lord.
Wait, the Lord said what?
I I have loved you.
Salakia, my bad, brother. Jump to verse 1 again and read it nice and slow.
The book of Malachi, chapter 1, verse 1. The burden of the word of the Lord to Israel.
To who?
To Israel. By Malachi.
So this is the word of the Lord to Israel. Read on.
By Malachi. Verse 2. I have loved you.
The Most High said he what?
I have loved you.
He said, what about Israel?
I have loved you.
Read on.
Saith the Lord. Yet ye say, wherein hast thou loved us?
So he said, I loved you. We asked him, wait, how? How you love us? Read on.
Was not Esau Jacob's brother?
And the Most High answered us back. He said, what?
Was not Esau Jacob's brother?
He said, yeah, wasn't Esau Jacob's brother? Read on.
Saith the Lord.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love Jacob.
Yeah, I did what?
Yeah, I love Jacob.
No, I love everybody.
Yeah, I love Jacob.
No, I got to join with everybody.
Yeah, I love Jacob.
The Lord said, Esau was Jacob's brother, but I love Jacob.
Right.
I didn't love Esau. You understand? He made a choice. The Most High loves Jacob, the progenitor of the 12 tribes of Israel. Read on.
That's right.
Verse 3. And I hated Esau.
And he did what?
And I hated Esau.
And the Lord said he hated Esau.
Right.
So how can you love the Lord when you love Esau but hate Jacob? When the Lord just said that he loved Jacob and hated who?
Esau.
He hated Esau. Read on.
And I hated Esau and laid his mountains and his heritage waste for the dragons of the wilderness.
The fact of the matter is this. You are either going to be on one accord with the Most High or you're going to be on one accord with Satan. Make a choice. Take your pick. That's all it's going to be. You're not going to be able to play both sides. Right? You're not going to say, well, I love God, like we read in the other scripture, and hate your people.
Right.
It's impossible. Either you're going to love what the Lord loves, or you're going to hate what the Lord loves. Well, the Lord just said he loves Jacob. He loves blacks, Hispanics, Native Indians. Like I said, he loves that brother out there that's on drugs. He loves all of his people. But you want to we were yesterday about how they had a campaign to make us vote. You want us to join with the oppressor? You want us to join with the ones who kill us in the streets? Well, I mean, okay. I remember when they killed a brother in New York, right? When they killed, I think it was Eric Garner, right? And the NYPD had like a parade or something. They did something, and they had on shirts because everyone knows that the brother, when he got choked to death, right? He got choked to death by the police because he was selling loosies. And what was he saying? We can hear it on the camera when he said, "I can't breathe." He informed them, "I cannot breathe." He was killed, right? The NYPD started to wear shirts that said, "I can breathe." They made a mockery of that brother who was dead. Do you know that there were black men rocking them shirts? Do you know that there were black and Hispanic men going on social media saying that hashtag Blue Lives Matter? Right after this brother got killed, and they still do. Well, if we say it almost seems, it's crazy to me that I even have that these things even need to be discussed. I feel like it's like it just is pretty apparent. If you side with your oppressor and you side with his ideologies, then you are siding with the ideology that does what? He is the oppressor. So his religion, his ideology, his way of life is all going to culminate, it's all going to come down to doing what to your people? If you're black, Hispanic, and me. He conquers the whole world. Don't get it twisted. Job 9:24 says what? Please. The earth is given to the hands of the wicked. The earth is given to the hands of the wicked. He runs the world.
That's right.
So even heathens are under his thumb. They're under his reign. But some of us are victims of it, and some of us have chosen or been given an option to side with them and get some scraps, right? That's the only difference. But if you side with your oppressor, then you also side with what? Read my mind. That's absolutely true, but I'm looking for a specific word. He's the oppressor, and you are joining yourself to him. So what are you joining yourself to? You right? You almost there. Just give me that word in a different way. I'll make it easy for you. What does an oppressor do?
He enslaves you, he oppresses you.
He oppresses you. So if you are joining yourself to the oppressor, you are supporting what?
Oppression.
Most High in Christ. You're supporting the very thing that is oppressing your people. There's no way around it. If I am a house slave, who's seen Django? One of my favorite movies, right? If I'm a house slave, and I'm Stephen, and there's Calvin Candy, and I help him do his job. Well, what's his job? He's the slave master. So by helping him, I help him do what? I help him be a better slave master. It's just that simple. In order for me to not be on his side, I have to go in the opposite direction. I have to help those he enslaves flee from oppression. I have to try to end his oppressive reign. But if I join with him, then all I'm doing is making his job easier.
Right.
You understand? So read that again from the top.
The book of Malachi, chapter 1, verse 1. The burden of the word of the Lord to Israel by Malachi. Verse 2. I have loved you, saith the Lord.
The Lord said he loved Israel. You know?
Yet ye say, wherein hast thou loved us? Was not Esau Jacob's brother, saith the Lord? Yet I love Jacob.
Right.
Verse 3. And I hated Esau. And laid his mountains and his heritage waste for the dragons of the wilderness.
He said he hated who?
Hated Esau and laid his mountains and his heritage waste.
So he hated Esau. Give me Psalms 139 and verse 20. No, verse 21. Psalms 139 and verse 21. So the Lord said he hated Esau. Let's see what we can do with that. Let's see if we're supposed to go against that. Let's see. He hated Esau, but we're supposed to love him. Let's see. Tell me when you got it, brother.
I got it.
Go ahead and read that out.
The book of Psalms, chapter 139, verse 21. Do not I hate them?
Do not I what?
Do not I hate them.
Who's talking here?
Is it David? Is it David, bro?
Yep, Most High in Christ. Give him a hand. It's King David, man. This is King David talking. King David, read from the top.
The book of Psalms, chapter 139, verse 21. Do not I hate them, O Lord, that hate thee.
King David said, do not I hate them that hate thee. Read on.
And am not I grieved with those that rise up against thee.
Read on.
Verse 22. I hate them.
I what?
I hate them.
No, I love them.
I hate them.
I hug them.
I hate them.
Sit on the bus with them.
I hate them.
Drink from the same fountain.
I hate them.
I hate them. Read on.
I hate them with perfect hatred.
Read on.
I count them mine enemies.
I count them mine enemies. King David said, I hate those who hate you. Talking about the Most High. Nobody hates the Most High like the oppressor, the devil the Bible speaks of. All you got to do is look at the tenets of his existence. What are the things that, give me some things that the Most High calls an abomination. I want y'all just to raise your hand, throw them out. Give me some things the Most High says is an abomination. Go ahead, y'all.
It's like eating abominable food or unclean food.
Eating unclean foods, right? Let me ask you a question. What you got? Homosexuality. Well, two great examples. Now I want you to tell me, who told black people that pork was the other white meat? Please.
It's like that was our oppressors.
That would be our oppressors from slavery. Furthermore, who is the one who got a Red Lobster set up not too far from every black community, and we ain't just eating the biscuits? Who has it got Red Lobster on lock? I think it's the oppressor as well, brother. Surf and turf. Every place you want to go, listen, give me what you got? Joe's Crab Shack. Joe Salami. Joe's Crab Shack. I remember like the first time when I left New York in 2013, I moved to Fayetteville, North Carolina, and I first went to Joe's Crab. I'd never heard of it. And I was like, Joe's Crab Shack? Oh, snap. And everybody had all the joints like looking ridiculous. With the bib and all this stuff, like, but no sweat, right? But Joe's Crab Shack, now they got one not too far from my house in New York. Like they expanded, they all over the place now. But it's like Red Lobster, Joe's Crab Shack, the Mayflower. Like you got all. What the hell is the Mayflower? What the hell is the Mayflower? Oh, on Capitol. On Capitol Boulevard.
And
please.
It's like, you know what's ironic? You know what the Mayflower actually is, right?
Of course, the ship. It's the goddamn ship. I can't believe it. Just throw it in your face, man. Right? The audacity. But you're eating abominable things, and nobody is a bigger perp. No one perpetuates that more than the devil, man. More than the oppressor. He'll throw it in your face, the Joe's Crab Shack and the Red Lobster. He'll lure you in there with the biscuits. Before you know it, you got a whole lobster tail in your plate. You understand? Shrimp scampi and shrimp on the Barbie and all. Barbecue shrimps. You know what I'm saying? You watch Forrest Gump, by the end of the movie, you want to own a shrimp boat company. You understand? I remember that too. Like, I thought it was a myth, right? Because I remember being young, right? And my brother told me, like, oh, you know there's a restaurant called Bubblegum Shrimp? I'm like, you're lying. That's not true. Well, in New York City, and it's like a tourist attraction. If you go to Manhattan, it's popular now, so people know about it. Go to 42nd Street, you got Bubblegum Shrimp. It's a restaurant. You can get fried shrimp. All that stuff, Bubba was talking about. Shrimp this, shrimp that. You understand? But abominable things are praised and pushed by the oppressor. This brother said homosexuality. Good night. Please, somebody tell me why there is a gay parade like every week. It seems like once a month there's a gay parade somewhere. In some major city, there's a gay something. I mean, shoot, I can't even watch Netflix no more. I can't even watch Netflix no more because if I watch a movie, okay, this movie look alright. 15 minutes in, what we see? Some unnecessary gay character. Some characters are just wild gay for no reason. It's not even like a reason. They just there and they're gay and they're in the movie. Like, yeah, please.
You know what the largest festival is?
Where?
It's actually in Israel.
I do know that. The largest festival, but guess what?
It's in realism.
It's the devil. He pushes it. Pushes abominable things. So when it says, do not I hate them, O Lord, that, well, if you hate the Most High, then you push things he doesn't like. He hates homosexuality, and you push it. He hates pork, crab, shrimp, and lobster. You push it. What you got, Carter?
So I got on, and to prove to you that Esau really has, I say Esau, that what?
Esau, America,
Okay, because I know now we can't use certain, so I'm not gonna say what I want.
I got you.
them,
Right.
the man,
Right.
But now, to prove that they really hate the Most High.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what? I mean, which we all know what the gays their logo is.
It's a rainbow, right? Yeah, break it down.
And we also understand what the rainbow represents. And they took not just pink, they took the whole damn rainbow.
Right.
And that's what they use now.
Right.
And to back up your point about you said you watched something on Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you know now, like I have like the Hulu subscription. Mm-hmm. And you know how you go on Hulu or Netflix and you go through like action, whatever category. Well, now I think they're gonna bring out like
I think they already have it. Like a gay, lesbian shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they already have it, bro. What you're saying is so wild because it goes even further than that, right? If you want to talk about the alphabet people, those alphabet people, I mean, you want to talk about hating God, brother. They are like telling you that you are not a good parent unless you let your sons wear dresses. Right. Somebody, if you would have told 6-year-old Dabuan this in 1995, I'd have been like, you're bugging. No way. But no. They got ads, commercials. You see what's going on every time there's an award show. They pushing it, some man in a dress or some kind of funny looking, I don't know what, leggings and all this. And if you don't believe in that, you're a bigot. You're a horrible father. You're a bad mother. If you don't embrace, it's called hating God. It don't get no more concrete than that. And somebody will say, what? They'll be like, oh, well, these people, they're oppressed. They're oppressed and they're just so sad and they just judge. Everyone's judging them. No, he ain't. No, he ain't. What is a judgment according to the Bible? Somebody tell me what an actual judgment, please.
It's like a sentencing or execution.
An execution of punishment. If I was judging you, I'd be throwing the biggest rock I can find right at your knot, but I'm not doing it. That would be judging you. Telling you that you should repent from your sins is not judging you. You understand? But this world is bugged. These people hate God. And you know what? And it makes sense. I gotta get this one. Salakia. And this is the people that Orange Mike wants you to join with. But let's see how God feels about these people. Salakia. 1 second. Good. Where is it? You just give me, yeah, we read in Malachi, or we were on it, we left it.
It's like we're in Psalms right now.
We're in Psalms right now, no sweat. Good night, Salakia. No sweat, I'll jump back to it. I'll jump back to it real fast. Because we were in Malachi chapter 1, we didn't read, I'm going to read verse 4. Malachi chapter 1 and verse 4. Whereas Edom saith, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, they shall build, but they shall call them the border of wickedness, and the people against whom the Lord hath indignation forever. You know what indignation means? It means complete and utter disgust. Disgust. But it only makes sense because they hate him. They are the Most High's mortal enemies. Because they're our mortal enemies. We represent all things good. We've only been corrupt ways. When I see brothers and sisters who fall victim to homosexuality, if y'all cannot see, and when I say y'all, I just mean anybody listening, if y'all cannot see that they're falling victim to a way of life that's perpetuated by the European, I don't know what to tell you. That's not, we know that we ain't down for that. I remember being a little kid, and even my mother, if I was acting a little, if I said something a little funny, she'd be like, boy, you better toughen up. It's not walking like that. What's wrong with you? Right. You better not let your father see you walking like that, talking like that. You know what I'm saying? You go to school and they say, oh, he got hit. Your mother would ask you, did you hit him back? Don't be no punk. We were taught that from a young age, man. But now that they're in their society that we are in captivity in, they're turning it around, and we can't help but fall victim to it. We have no escape route. We have no outlet. We have nowhere to go. That goes to show you who the true Jews according to the Bible. Right. Right? Because Jeremiah 14:2 says what? That Judah mourneth. Right? The gates that were blameless, they're black unto the ground. We are in mourning because we have nowhere to go. Don't tell me about some goddamn Hamites, man. Right. Hamites is over there getting all the electricity to make home. Meanwhile, Oprah and every rapper and singer is setting up a school in Nigeria or some other part of Africa. I have never heard of some Africa. I don't even know if they have celebrities, but whatever the hell they got over there. I've never heard of none of them come over here and setting up a school at home. Never heard of them setting up a school in Newark, New Jersey, Atlanta, Georgia, in the ghettos of North Carolina and Durham and Fayetteville. Where's that at? Where's the African coming to help us out? You understand? But we living in captivity, and our oppressor, his way, homosexuality is his way of life. Go look up pederasty. Put it in your Google machine. P-E-D. So let me make sure I spell it right. P-E-D-E-R-A-S-T-Y. Look it up. It should pop up. Pederasty in ancient Greece, was a socially acknowledged romantic relationship between an adult male and a younger male, usually in his teens. This is how they are. So when you look at R. Kelly and you got so much bad to say about him, and we're not condoning what the brother's done, but that's not something that he came up with on his own. That brother got molested by people who got molested, by people who got molested, by people who were taught to molest people by the oppressor. Please.
If I may, sir, I remember hearing a lecture, this was some years ago when they were talking about fraternities and sororities, the black college campus, campus period. Of course. And they're all considered to be Greek life. Yep. What they were talking about was what you just said. Exactly what you just said.
And no, the water brother for bringing it out. No, it's not a coincidence that in all the fraternities, 9 times out of 10, in order for you to get in the fraternity, you have to do the gayest things imaginable. Please, good for you.
So I remember being at the Captain Cesario No Homo lecture. And he showed a clip of, I guess it was Q Dogs, one of them. And they had the egg in their mouth, and they crack it on the forehead. They gotta swap it, and then the last two gotta swallow it, and then
right. No sweat. Yeah, it's all. Notice that it's Greek life, so it comes from the Greeks. Salakia. The homosexuality is even somewhat sublimely, in my opinion, blatantly pushed into children's television show. Yeah, it's at this point, it's just in there. Shalom says, Shalom, shot. Yeah, they're pushing it in the cartoons. Straight up. In the cartoons. Please, bro.
We saw it during that day, you may not have paid attention. Remember the old Bugs Bunny? And he would kiss his own foot in the mouth? Right. He dressed up like a...
He would. Absolutely.
They were doing the thing. Look at the Peanuts. What's the chick's name? Peppermint Patty. Right. She always hung around with a girl named Marcy.
Right.
And Marcy always called her Sir.
Wow.
It's been around us for years.
It absolutely has. Some things we never even thought about. Good. What you got, Kapar?
I'm gonna hurt your feelings now. Yeah. I shared a post on Facebook last year. It was a clip of Arthur, the TV show on PBS.
Oh no.
Mr. Ratburn got married to another dude. I said, oh yeah. No. Oh yeah, I'm gonna share it again tonight.
Good night.
Oh yeah, so he's walking down the altar. They start dancing at wedding cake.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh yeah.
You see that? You see how they do? And then we think that and now our children are being affected by these things. They're seeing these things. They're treating it like it's the norm. You got little kids getting sex changes. Straight up getting sex changes. And that's not considered child abuse. But if you're Adrian Peterson and you pop your child too hard, you might be under, some kind of legal ramifications. You understand? So that's what's going on in this world because they absolutely hate God. They hate God. And everything that God, what does the Most High represent? Order. He represents order, structure. He has his chosen people who he set up to be above everyone else. He has the ways he set up the world to be. People are supposed to eat this and this and this, and not eat this and this and this. This animal does this and this and this, and such and such. Everything is ordered and structured. But now, if you go on your internet, you'll see some feminists tell you that, masculinity isn't just for men. Good night. Oh, men can wear dresses. Stop telling little boys they can't paint their toenails. Good night. You understand? This is the world that we live in. You know what I mean? We're going to get one good piece.
If I may, I don't know if it's still in the books now, but there was a law in Ireland that if you were a single man, you couldn't own sheep.
Really?
Which is where supposedly syphilis originated.
If you were, I could believe it. I absolutely could believe it because we know Christopher Columbus was that's how he died. He died of syphilis. From what I understand, he loved them farm animals. He couldn't get enough. He'd get around some goats and just start sweating. I heard that cat was just vicious. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to the little sheeps. You understand? Let me see here real fast. And we're going to do one more. Close this out. So I'll get out join this. So yeah, y'all want to look up some of those things. That pederasty is disgusting. Slovakia. Actually, that is 23. Is this it? Yeah, give me this. We'll close out with this. Give me Exodus chapter 23 and verse 22. Stop. And the thing is this. In the Isupk, we don't got to worry about any of that trash. We don't have to worry about what kind of nonsense they teaching kids in whatever schools or shows or, you know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, it's like we have the blueprint on how to raise our kids. We are around the brothers, man, who've been seasoned, who came up in this truth and know exactly what to do when it comes to being a brother, a husband, a father. Around sisters who know how to be a mother or a sister, right? This Bible is the blueprint for our people. We don't got to concern ourselves with any of their customs. That's why the Bible tells us not to do it. You know what I'm saying? Not to follow the customs of them either because they're vain, right? But when it comes to loving our people, if we don't do it, then no one else will. Because your enemy does not love you. You understand? So if you give all your love to him, you won't have no love left for your people. Right? But if you give your love to the Most High and your love to your people, let's see what the Most High said. Read that.
Book of Exodus, chapter 23, verse 22. But if thou shalt indeed obey his voice.
But if you shall do what?
Indeed, obey his voice.
But if you obey the voice of the Most High, the same voice that told you shall not hate your brother in your heart. It's a commandment not to do it. If you listen to him and you instead love your brother, love your sister, what are you supposed to read on?
But if thou shalt indeed obey his voice and do all that I speak, then I will be an enemy unto thine enemies and an adversary unto thine adversaries.
Right. So the Most High said, if you follow him, he's going to be an enemy to your enemies and an adversary to your adversaries. That's how you get up out of captivity. That's how you get up out of slavery. Love your brother, man. Love your people. And the Most High will fight for you. You understand? And with that, pass the class over to Priest Officer Mahayo. Oh, snap. Salaki, I do remember reading Snippy stuff. It was wild, crazy.
What's your
The old cartoon.